Prayer keeps your faith cruising through tribulation. Prayer strengthens your patience. When you're about to lose your patience, you better get to your prayer place.
I believe in miracles. I believe in supernatural. I believe all things are possible. I believe in God. I believe in God. I believe in God.
Well, glory to God. Welcome once again to Power of Faith. I'm Pastor Philip Derber with your family of faith. Victory Church right here in the capital city of Frankfort, Kentucky. And just delighted to be able to share with you the truths of God's Word once again. Luke chapter 1 verse 37 says, well, with God nothing shall be impossible. And that's what we've been teaching for the past few weeks. How to turn an impossible situation into a reality of manifestation through faith. Now, let me just hit a quick review of where we've been so far. I told you, those of you that have been watching, I told you about that open vision I had years ago when I asked God from in a time of prayer and fasting how I could teach His people faith more effectively. And I saw this circle, an open vision, not something I saw inside here. It was out here. And in it were these 6 subjects I call the circle of faith. And it begins with hope, then faith, then tribulation, patience, promise, experience, all the way back to hope. This is how the circle of faith works. And if you'd like your own copy, contact our office with the information on the screen. We have it in Spanish as well. And it'll be a blessing to you, I know. Now, we looked at how all supernatural miracles, supernatural manifestations of God, they begin with hope, and not the natural hope that the world brings. You know, you talk to somebody, you going to the ball game tonight? Well, I hope so. Well, that's just natural hope, right? But we've discovered in our first session together that Abraham, who against hope, believed in hope. That first against hope was worldly hope. His body was now dead, the deadness of Sarah's womb, but God had said that they were going to have a child, see? So, who against hope? There was no hope for him. Believed in hope. God's hope, which comes from His Word. But then we discovered in session number 2 that faith is the substance of things hoped, past tense. Hope is present tense when you discover your situation don't have to stay that way. But for it to change, hope has to go from present to past. And then what becomes present is faith. Now faith is. That's present tense. And we looked at how faith transitionalizes by hearing, and hearing by the Word of God, and so on and so forth. Then the last time we were together, session 3 was tribulation. Oh boy. So when you're fighting a good fight of faith, you got hope from the Scriptures when the doctors couldn't give you no hope. Financial institutions couldn't give you no hope. Nobody in your family would give you any hope, whatever. And you got hope out of the Scripture. And then you meditated it and you listened to it and gathered information, enough evidence to have a conviction on the inside of you, which is faith. and now you're in faith. Well, here we go with the faith fight. Fight the good fight of faith. And we discovered in that fight of faith that tribulation comes, Jesus said, because of the word's sake. The devil knows that if your faith is left unchecked, unopposed, you'll get your miracle. Every time you'll get it. So he brings opposition, and he tries to throw fiery darts at your soul, tries every kind of lies, and your situation, the debt might get larger because this company wants to foreclose on this or repossess that, or just your debt situation is just getting worse, or the pain in your body is getting worse. The doctor's saying you're going downhill, whatever. So you're in the midst of tribulation, and the devil's trying to get you off your faith stand, period. Because faith don't know nothing about no tribulation. Faith don't feel nothing. You're the one feeling it. Your soul's going through it. Your physical body's feeling it. Faith don't feel nothing. Faith, it doesn't have any feelings. See? And so you're in that tribulation place. And this is where most Christians that quit on God stop, because the tribulation is so intense, and they don't know about the circle of faith. They don't know how to keep standing. They're not taught properly. That's why this teaching is so important. You might be listening to me right now, and you're believing God for this or believing God for that, and you're right in the midst of tribulation, right in the middle of it. And here's where the fourth part of our circle of faith, patience, kicks in. Now, in Romans chapter 5, look what it says here. In verse 3. Romans 5, verse 3. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation works patience. Tribulation works patience. Now, see, we don't like the word tribulation. We don't like the word patience. But those are the two things that we must understand to get to the fifth part, the promise and manifestation. You got to know about patience. You got to know the power of patience. It says over in Hebrews 6:12, it's through faith and patience we inherit the promises. So I want you to get this in your spirit. God gave me this analogy years ago. Patience is the cruise control to your faith. See, patience is the cruise control to your faith. Years ago, when I was in the military, in the Air Force, I had a pickup truck. And me and a friend were going to drive from California all the way across to Kentucky, then down to Florida, and all the way back through Texas, and all the way back to California. We had vacation time. We had leave. And I thought to myself, because my truck didn't have cruise control, I thought, man, that's a lot of miles not to have no cruise control. So I ordered me a cruise control kit. And, I worked on airplanes, I'm a mechanic before then, working on cars and so on and so forth. So I put this cruise control on my truck, took it out and test drove it. Boom, there it was. It changed everything. It changed. I know my leg was going to get tired holding it, and you without cruise control, you look down, you're doing 90 miles an hour, or you look down, you're doing 30. But when you got cruise control and you set it at the speed limit, there you are. And so that cruise control, once installed, it wasn't concerned about a mountain in front of me. It made the adjustments. So, in going up a mountain, cruise control just told the engine, we need more power. And more power came. And we'd go up that mountain. It didn't care about a storm. Storm come, raining and carrying on. It didn't. Cruise control don't care about that. The engine didn't care about that. The engine is your faith. That cruise control is your patience. The tribulation is the storm. It's the mountain. See? And when you kick in your patience, you just kicked in the cruise control to your faith to cruise right through that tribulation. Now listen close. Cruise control doesn't know anything about the condition it's in. It knows one thing. Whatever you set it at is what it's going to deliver. The engine doesn't know anything other than supply power according to the demand that's put on it. So there you are. You're in the midst of a storm. You're driving your vehicle. What kicks out the cruise control? You put your foot on the brake. Now, I'm not telling you if you're in a severe storm that you're not supposed to put your foot on the brake in the natural. I'm just using this as an analogy to show you what kicks out the cruise control. You hit the brake. Why'd you hit the brake? Fear. Caution. I don't know, I don't know about all this, but better slow her down here, and so on and so forth. But here's the beauty about cruise control. Once, you may be listening to me right now, and you're like, wow, this guy's reading my mail, about hitting the brake. The good thing about cruise control, it has a thing on it called resume. You hit that resume button, it goes right back to its previous setting. Now listen to me. Patience, that word that we don't like to hear, is so valuable. I won't own a vehicle now that don't have cruise control. Forget that, unless it's a classic car or something. I'm going to have cruise control. That's just a must for me. See? Now, with that in mind, look over here in Romans chapter 12. So, patience is a necessary part of seeing your promise come into fruition. Over here in Romans 12, and look at what it says here in verse 12. It says, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. Okay, we've already looked at hope, how that gives you a spark of joy and rejoice and so on and so forth. But then when it talks about tribulation, it says patient in tribulation, continuing, keeping your cruise set, continuing instant in prayer. Now, folks, this is so valuable when you're in the midst of the tribulation, when you're being opposed and you refuse to quit, and you're sitting there shaking off, the lies of the enemy. You're casting that down. No, I have believed, I received. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. And it seems like, it's been a while, and the building that we're building here for 20 years. My wife would tell you, I kept saying over this property, thank you, Lord, that phase 2, we call it phase 2, is built debt-free suddenly. Well, it's here now. See, but if you'd have heard me say that for 20 years, people would be to say, yeah, he's a big dreamer, blah, blah, blah. Well, I believed, I received. Now, what saw me through 2 decades of believing? Continuing, instant in prayer. Folks, what strengthens patience is prayer. Prayer keeps your faith cruising through tribulation. Prayer strengthens your patience. When you're about to lose your patience, you better get to your prayer place. See, you better get that place of prayer. I've been there many times. Boy, I get in that place of prayer and just everything, just seemed like everything was coming at me, but I refused to quit. I'm not going to quit. And when I get in that place of prayer, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. No, I know. And see, the devil tried to turn the tables on you and try to get you to blame God. He'll try to get you, well, how come God ain't done that yet? Or then he'll try to blame you. The reason he ain't done it because you got sin in your life. That's why. That's why you got to run to prayer. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and are safe. There is a strength that comes from, I'm not talking about praying, telling God everything you need. I'm talking about going and spending time with God and just saying, God, hey, I'm here today and I just praise you and adore you and I thank you, Lord God, that we have the victory, and I thank you that I have believed I received that, and I just want to spend time with you in your presence, and I just want you to know I'm a believer, not a doubter. Glory be to God. I'm walking in covenant with you. You're my covenant father. I'm your covenant child, and I know that the angels are moving on my behalf. And then, after you pray for a while, you might want to pray in tongues for some time there, and then you just get still. The Bible says, be still and know that he is God. And there's a strength. I cannot tell you how many times I felt the hand of God come on right in the middle of my back in times of prayer. I'd be on my knees or laying on my face in front of God, and I feel his hand come on my back, and instantaneously I'm strong. I mean, when I went into that prayer time, I knew I had to get in there because everything was trying to pull me into doubt and unbelief and why God why and when God when and all that stuff. No. Continuing instant in prayer. God is not a man that he should lie, neither is he the son of man that he should repent. Hath he not said it? Will he not make it good? There shall be a performance of those things which he hath said. And see, you get in his presence like that, and there's a strengthening that comes to your patience. Well, how come God ain't done it yet? Well, there's several reasons why. He may be working with your faith level that needs to be just a tad higher, or he's divinely orchestrating things because what he's going to do is exceeding abundantly above all you could ask or think, not just what you asked for, but it's above all you could ask for. I've seen him do that many a time when I've been believing God for something, and seemed like it had taken a long time, and then when it came, he did it in such a way it was exceeding abundantly above all I could ask or think. I'd have just been happy with what I asked for, but he had more in store for me, and he lined it up, and he just needed me to stay patient. And see, God's interested in us being victorious. He wants us to be successful. And faith is the victory that overcomes the world. See? And that cruise control. Once you set that cruise control, you're going through that tribulation, and the devil's just trying everything he can to just get you to quit and get you all bummed out and just thinking that you're goofy and that this faith stuff is just something that preachers preach, just to get an offering or whatever. What's going on? Tribulation is coming for the word's sake, and tribulation works patience. It energizes patience. It energizes. Wait, time for the cruise control to kick in. Okay, we got it kicked in. We're going through the storm. The engine, faith, is supplying the power to go up the storm, go up the mountain in a storm. And then all of a sudden, you just feel like, hey, the storm's too much. The mountain's too big. Didn't know it's going to be this big of a mountain. Continue in prayer. Don't let it go. You get in that place of prayer, and boy, I tell you what, it'll change your attitude. See? And again, a lot of it is being still in His presence. Just, the world says out there when somebody is experiencing anxiety, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. You see sports people do that. You see the pitcher on the mound. He's got bases loaded and a full count, and he doesn't want to walk the winning run in, and you'll see him out on the mound. He'll go like that right there. Or you see the guy at the foul line, and 1 second left on the clock, and they're down by one, and he's got 2 shots, and he'll go. What are they doing? Trying to calm themselves. Well, the way we take a deep breath is in our prayer time. We let the deep breath of God breathe into our spirit and just relax. The cruise control's set. The engine's running. You're not going to be in this storm forever. Me and my wife, we traveled a lot, and especially in those early days, we drove a lot. And I told her in storms, I said, you don't ever stop. She said, honey, you can't see. Well, if you couldn't see, then you stop. But there's always a lot of cars start freaking out, pulling off the side in a heavy rain or whatever. And I'm not saying you do something stupid. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you keep moving. Don't stop, and you'll drive right out of that storm. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Even if it's 10 miles an hour, you're barely moving. You're going to come out of that storm where others have pulled off the side and they're waiting for the storm to pass. See? Well, our time is getting away from us again on this, but I want you to see that hope brings us to faith, and now you're in that tribulation where the devil's trying to uproot your faith, and the cruise control of patience kicks in, taking us to the 5th one. That 5th one, the manifested promise. God told me years ago, He gave me this statement, you're going to be glad you stayed with it and who you stayed with. There's nothing, victory is sweet. There's nothing like believing God for something and then there it is. Undeniable. Undeniable. You see God's handprint all over it. Healing in your body, that house that you just obtained, an upgrade in your car, a new job, that lost loved one got saved, whatever it is. It's just, you forget the intensity of the tribulation. I mean, when you give your testimony, you can say, yeah, it seemed like we were walking through hell. But you didn't stop, see? You kept pressing through, and you kept your cruise control set. Again, if you want your own copy of Circle of Faith, you can go to our website, faithvictorychurch.us, and scroll down the bookstore and follow the information. We have it in Spanish as well, if you got a Spanish friend and you think would be blessed by that. As well, there's 100 other books on there that I've written, little mini books, a bunch of them, but they're little faith snacks that can minister life to you. All right. Well, next week we're going to get into that 5th session. That's the manifest promise of God. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 4 says, where the word of a king is, there is power. Be a blessing.
Power of Faith programs are available on YouTube 24/7, so you can watch from anywhere at any time. Search for Power of Faith on YouTube or go to youtube.com/Power of Faith. Subscribe and click the bell to make sure you're notified whenever new episodes are posted. If you missed the episode, or you just want to go back and watch it over and over again, the Power of Faith YouTube channel is there for you.